Hi, this is A Mystical Riff by the River with Leah.
And Nameh.
And I'll be bringing the tarot. Today I'll be doing the Radiant Wilds tarot.
And I've got Human Design with Brenda Magnuson's Animal Totems and the I Ching.
Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Things are falling.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I'm acknowledging it. I'll let you know if it's relevant later. Here we go.
Great. I trust you.
So we're going to clear the deck. We're moving into line 4.
Line 4 for the month of July.
For the month of July.
Yep. So if you have a 4th line in your profile, 4-6, 2-4, 4-1, 1-4.
We got the death card, folks.
Okay.
Welcome.
Yeah.
It's funny because I brought this card up in the intro to this podcast as a sort of like, this is the card that people new to tarot are afraid. This is one of the cards people are afraid to pull, you know, or it's in the movies where someone pulls the death card and it means like someone's going to die. That is not how most readers interpret the death card.
Yeah.
So I just want to put your mind at ease. If you're new to tarot and you're like, what the actual, like, don't worry. Death means change, death means change, death means change, which can be scary, which can include many different kinds of death, the end or loss, you know, of identity or community or what you were doing or how you were spending your time or a job or a relationship or whatever the case may be. Yes, it sometimes once in a while refers to actual loss. Like maybe recently, like having already lost a loved one potentially. And it does involve, there is an invitation to grief in this. It is an invitation to death as a process, to death as a sacred part of the circle of life, to taking the time it takes to sit with it, and to be with it, and to be with loss, and to be with change. And then the rebirth is what comes after, you know, and in the tarot, the next card in the tarot is Temperance. And Temperance has this sort of remix quality is the way I've heard it, which I love. Temperance is bringing this balance and integrating different parts of your life into a beautiful woven whole that is unique to you. So death comes before that because it is that invitation to release and process what is not now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'm hearing clear the decks. I'm also sensing Kali energy or like Pluto. Yeah.
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 I love that.
And what's cool about this image, which will be popped up on the screen here somewhere, is almost like the vitality that's on the other side. So where, you know, a door is closing, well, maybe the door needs to close so the next step door can open and be in your line of sight. So.
Absolutely. And I'll mention too, it's a Major Arcana card, which for anyone who's new to the tarot, Major Arcana cards are the 0 through 21, and they refer to sort of more major life transitions. So just want to acknowledge that that this might be feeling big. What's happening in your life might be feeling like a big transition. Yeah. Just holding space for that.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
And interesting. Okay, so what's coming through is gate 11. And what Brenny's doing in this deck is she's bringing in an animal or a creature to represent the essence of the gates or the I Ching locations. And this is gate 11, which is about our ideas. And within these ideas, because this is now collective circuitry, it's thinking of the past and what ideas did I attach to the past, and are those ideas stable? Are they anchored in a sense of reality or not? And ultimately, it's an invitation perhaps to look at the illusion that's within that idea or that concept that's being offered out to make sense of a previous experience. So I think that's interesting that it's in this death. And the being that Brenya associated with gate 11 is the dragonfly. And so it was interesting, we've been doing, gates or lines 1 through 6, we're on the 4th line for the month of July. And we've had, in previous readings, we were talking about like that transformation space that can happen within insect populations, et cetera. We were talking about the butterfly. And I guess I'm curious if you know how you might speak to dragonfly as it relates to death. Because I'm not so steeped in their genetic transition or, how they become flying versus...
Yeah, I don't know as much about like the pupal stage of the dragonfly. I wish I did. I have this very specific memory. I love dragonflies.
Great.
Right? And one reason I love dragonflies is one time I was lying by myself by a lake in the woods, naked, and I was being attacked by horseflies, and they were biting me. And then all of a sudden, this little like army of dragonflies came in and started eating the horseflies. And so I felt like they were these protectors. They were eating the flies, so there was a death there, and sort of that natural process, that sort of nature life cycle. So that was one place my mind went. But then I also think about, and then I'm thinking about the illusion. I'm just thinking of like, I see the word illusion here, I see the word death here, something death of illusion. Like, what does it mean to really face those ideas that are neither true to us nor true to the world, that are potentially creating obstacles in our life? And what could it open up to actually go through the death process of those illusions, to face them, to process them, to release them? And I'm not sure how that connects to the dragonfly in this moment.
That's okay. Like, intentionally, I think we were calling this Riff because we riff in fun ways together, and we're like, well, let's experiment and see what happens as 2 third-line profiled people in the human design system. But what's coming through as you're sharing about that is this is in the collective circuitry. So that's the bigger we, that's the world, that's beyond me as an individual, that's beyond me and my family, that's society, that's the country you're oriented to, etc. So whatever feels like a grander, bigger scale. And what's coming through for me is the illusions around the systems that we're currently in 2026 recognizing are actually not supporting us in the way they were purported like they might.
I love that. I love that you brought that sort of macro lens onto it of the death of illusions that we hold on a personal level are connected to ultimately the death of systems that are harmful and needing to be recycled. But we're all like fed certain ideas by these systems since forever. And so the unlearning, and I even see the word reprogram on here, the reprogramming that it takes. And part of the unlearning is the death process of these certain ideas that we're holding.
And I think you were pointing to this earlier when we were talking about death, is to honor the grief that's associated with it.
Yes.
So even though in this current time we're recording in July 2026, even though we might understand that these systems aren't supporting us in the fullest way that we envisioned they could, there's a security in it.
Yes.
There's a comfortability in it. And so, like, I think we experienced this, or I imagine you experienced this in your unique way during the lockdown time frames of, I can't just blah, 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 that resting on a way of functioning that needed to be adjusted. Anyway, pointing back
It
to
is
that.
vulnerable and scary to release these systems that we've known forever and have been their own version of a comfort blanket, for us. So I think that's really, it feels like the death card is honoring that it's not necessarily an easy process, even if it is an important one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if we add in the fourth line, so the fourth line person is here to externalize and bring a supportive influence into their community, into their network. So they might be, or you might be, somebody with this fourth line who's being invited through the cards to look at what have I been basing what I share out and how I'm influencing my network. Which opportunities have I historically been looking for that maybe needs a revamp? Yeah.
That's cool.
So we're going to now look at a supportive overall, see what weaves in from the Starseed Oracle. Woohoo! And the card is, the Great Severing.
Whoa.
Mars energy, anger, conflict, and softening to love.
Wow, the Great Severing. And it's also this beautiful desert landscape, canyons, starry sky.
Yeah.
What does that bring up for you?
To me, that's back to the death card in the sense of how rooted was a belief or a way of knowing myself was I oriented that really needs like if there's a root to a plant that's potentially interfering with the foundation of my house, how deep do I have to go to help that disconnection happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just reading I'm not familiar with this deck, although I am familiar with the creator of this deck because I have
cool.
the Moonchild one at home. But the Great Severing, it says, and then below some of the words are anger and conflict. And it makes me think about with something like the death or releasing or processing and letting go of something that is no longer present, there can be really intense emotions that come with that. There can be anger. There can be conflict internally or externally. And the parts work lover in me wants to just be like, all are welcome here.
Yeah.
It is okay to be angry sometimes.
Yeah.
To have conflict. Conflict can be generative when we handle it with intention. And so I know those words can be scary in a reading, but these intense feelings can sometimes come with death card, change, severing, releasing illusions, reprogramming, and there's space for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in the booklet, the Starseed Soul Inquiry is how are you cutting yourself off from love? So maybe keeping yourself in a protected space potentially that translates to a barrier or a separation. And then the secondary question is how can you soften toward those who have hurt you? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. It does feel like a little bit of the clearing of the obstacles.
Yeah.
You know, a clearing, like the forgiveness that you pulled earlier.
Right.
There feels like there's opportunity to make more space for yourself for this present moment, for what is right now, by doing some clearing.
Yeah.
Even though that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're with you.
Yeah. You got this.
See you next time.